the time I realized what was going on, it was probably junior year. To hear that your child is 17 years old and using heroin, it just kind of knocks the breath out of you. Like, how? How could this be? I don't know anyone who used heroin my entire life. And then the whole family was, in turmoil. We were all in turmoil. I had no idea what to do. I lost my son, Rory, at 29 years old to substance use disorder.
This was such a well-crafted documentary. It was disturbing and stirring and ultimately very eye-opening, which is what a documentary should be. It should show you an issue from a nuanced variety of perspectives, and it certainly did. I really appreciated all of the subjects sharing their experience with such bravery and honesty, and also hearing of so many different levels of the systems of treatment and incarcerations failing people throughout who have a medical illness. From the youth rehabs, body brokering, mothers working with the hope to get their children back in that hamster wheel of services, drug courts, those looking to profit off or penalize those with medical illness in this system of punishment. I think everybody should have to see this piece, and hopefully it will spawn people having a more open mind and vote for those who can instill a system that is a little bit more empathetic and that actually works.
Excellent documentary that gets to the root of the addiction problem in America. The treatment is the issue, and it's badly failing. The system is just a failure. Young and old are dying because of that. And although there are good drug treatment programs out there, there's just not enough that are accessible that actually work. Excellent speakers, experts in the field that explain so well how opioids work versus heroin. You feel ill for the mothers that speak about the young people they've lost, not for lack of trying, went through many treatments, and it still doesn't work. The good news at the end of the documentary is for Tanya and the work of a father who's a fisherman captain who's also lost a son to the addiction issue, and they put together a program for handing out Narcan kits. It's really hopeful, and it's already saved lives.
I was so inspired by the interviews of a wide variety of people, such as doctors and family members, all who have been affected in some way by drug addiction. The interviews of the parents who are either struggling with their own addiction or who have had children with addictions were particularly moving. Seeing family photographs and video brought me to tears. I really appreciated the message of the film that we need to move away from the stigma and the criminalization of these people to develop a better approach. It was interesting to see video footage of people addressing addictions in society many years ago, all the way to modern newscasts. The film takes us to many parts of the U.S. to explore this wide-reaching topic. The stats of the film were sobering, but overall the message is hopeful and positive as we learn better ways to save lives and improve community services.
It really opened up my eyes to the fact that, seeing drug overdoses as a moral failing is actually so detrimental to these people. And changing the narrative to show drug use and drug overdose as an actual disease instead of as, a moral failure and something that someone can just stop is important, really important. And I think this film did a really great job of changing the narrative, at least in my head, of what kind of a problem drug use is. People in this documentary would use the term substance use disorder instead of, I think, the more commonly used term, a lot of people just say drug addict. And that puts the blame on the person rather than acknowledging that it is a disease that they're trying to overcome. I thought that framing in this film is so important. And yeah, just simply using different words and things. I think this film does a great job of changing that narrative. How they showed the impact of having someone with substance abuse disorder in your family and how that affects the entire family, affects all their friends, etc. So I really appreciated hearing from all of these people who have been affected by family members, have been affected themselves by substance use disorder. I think this film did a great job of showing so many different perspectives and changing that narrative and reframing this in a way that will help bring awareness to the issue.
It immediately lets you know what the film is about, what you're going to be experiencing, and how they edited this. It really keeps you going. It keeps the pace of this, and it keeps enlightening you with more information, more new information that you didn't know existed. So I thought that that was really, really intelligent. All of the technical aspects of this was just stunning. They did such a professional job. Everything from the cinematography to the sound to the editing, the music that they added. And at the end, it didn't take away from the film. It actually helped support some of the really heart-wrenching interviews that were going on, and what you were listening to, it added to the emotion of the film. This was also really, for me, educational. I had no idea how many deaths there were, or what the incline was. Something that one of the interviewers had said too, that I guess is a very common misconception, is that a lot of places who are claiming recovery it's not recovery. It's actually part of the treatment. So that was really interesting. I feel like, yeah, I learned a lot from this. I liked the interviews. I mean, getting a chance to listen to everybody speak who spoke. Some of the things were very hopeful. Some of them were really heartbreaking. But it's nice to know that there are people out there, the filmmakers doing this, who are bringing about a much needed change.
Starts off at a great clip, and we are immediately just drawn in from the different sound bites that are all really just doing the lifting of getting us engaged and getting us to buy into the documentary, because again, it's a really well produced documentary. A lot of information here, but it's concise, it's easy to digest, it's even entertaining, and I think what's really important is that we get the human stories behind the statistics. And I think they even say in the documentary that the drug tends to come first, and then they push the people to the curb, kind of thing, which is probably not an ideal way to approach recovery. So it was informative for me. It was entertaining, eye-opening, and ultimately I'm glad this one exists, just to help shine some more light on the situation, because we've been hearing about it for quite a while now, and it's apparently not getting better. So anything we can do to help draw more attention to it and get things fixed and get people the help they need is good in my books.
Talking about the history of the opioid crisis, and then going into all these individual stories of folks that are dealing with it, and it's very good to hear firsthand from these folks. Things such as why can't Narcan be more available? Why can't everybody have? Why would we just let somebody die rather than giving them a chance to live? Hearing things like that firsthand from people that are in the situation is very meaningful. And I didn't have quite the idea of the scope of the issue until I saw this just now. So this was very well put together, wonderfully directed. The interviews were all wonderfully done. Everybody on screen did a great job of explaining the situation and what they're going through. I got a really big, complete picture of everything that was being taken on here.